Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Slipways, where that thing I said I was going to do on the weekend never materialized because your girl is overly optimistic with her time. So sorry about that, but I think we're just going to go ahead and listen. The weekly challenge, the ranked run, is just, you're familiar with this if you've played very many video games. It's just everybody gets the same seed and, you compare scores. And some people, geez, 117,000. That's very impressive. This sector has some special rules, but even so. All right, my point was we're not going to worry about it. You know what kind of thing this is. You've seen this kind of thing before. We are here to check out the second part of the campaign. Now, it turns out I had played the first part of the campaign on challenging before, and I considered bumping it up to tough here, but I think what my intent is we're gonna play through what looks like the 4 new levels of the campaign with their interesting new rule sets and stuff on challenging here. And then when the third part, when the rest of the campaign is out, what we might do is just start the whole thing over from start from the beginning on tough and try to take on that considerable challenge. Because apparently I only got 2 stars on this one. Apparently some of these were pretty hard already. So playing through it on tough might involve doing a real bad job on a couple of levels. But I think it'll be a more compelling challenge to take on sort of all at once rather than piecemeal. So for right now, let's just see what else the developer has in store for us here. As we inch closer to the former forebear homeworlds, strange space-time rifts hinder our progress. This sector is home to strange rifts in space-time. Their origin is unknown, and your primary goal is to study these rifts and figure out their nature. 25 years, we have to collect 85 research papers, I assume, from the rifts. So there are rifts, they block connections and affect nearby planets. We can build a rift outpost on the edge, manned with people and connected to a source of science. Collects an amount of research each year. The name of this resource might be research. Listen, collects a number of papers each year based on how many light bulbs it has access to. Only one outpost can study each rift. And, okay, we're going to gain, based on our total income at the end of the game, and also based on the speed with which we reach 5 papers per year. Seems interesting enough. So I really don't have any idea what we're getting into here. It's hard to know what's going to make sense. We only care about our planets being prosperous and stuff in the sense that they will generate money that we can use to run our research stations. So what we really want to do here is try to optimize for... What do we want? What do we want to optimize for? I guess, okay. We want to run a lot of research stations, so one thing we want to optimize for is production of resources that will allow that to happen. Because we're going to need to connect light bulbs to the rift stations. So stuff like mineral seeding, which helps us generate a larger number of mineral planets around a single lab to increase its science output, are probably going to be important. I want to make sure... Yeah, it's built on the edge of a rift and connected to a source of light bulbs. So, yeah, we want to maximize light bulb production. Also, slip relays. That's like a powerful perk, 3 free slip relays, and it will help us potentially connect more science nodes to the rift labs and stuff. I can see that being good. This is increasing maximum range of slipways. Potentially get like a robot lab more easily, because sometimes you need to build a world that produces goods, but with flexible fabrication it can also feed a laboratory studying robots. Artifact trading is interesting. Let's continue on. I'm going to be honest with you, I was kind of hoping that the Silthids here would have the tech that, their chip robot thing. because that makes it way easier to serve a couple of laboratories. So this doesn't actually... Well, this adds a mining ability to lava and ice balls and deserts. But this is already doing that. Yeah, I don't know that this is necessarily going to be helping us a ton. It does let us get water out of ice ball planets as well, which is good for general... That's a good lab resource. So now we have a couple of things we can use ice balls for to generate science. You know what? I don't hate this lineup. So... Ooh, if we take geology, it does kind of, it does devalue mineral seeding quite a lot. So maybe we don't need to do silted here, but like, I think that might be really good. And then we don't take the silted, we just take something else that'll help us generate money so that we can remain stable. Like, this also is good. Obviously, like quantum sensors just dramatically increasing our vision range can be very helpful. Skill download, letting us pump extra resources out so that they can be sent to labs, maybe. Researchers lets you reach forward or back in the text structure. I don't know that I think that would be terribly useful here. Careful observation definitely saves us some time, just getting the garbage signals out of the way. I'm really not sure what I think is going to be valuable for us. Economic zones isn't very interesting. Oh, you know what? Nanofabrication can be quite good, though. Yeah, you know what? Let's just stick with this plan. We probably will not bother to develop mineral seeding, but we can pick up drill bots potentially if it makes sense to do so. Yeah, I think this is fine. Let's give this a go, shall we? Okay, yeah, big rifts. Those actually look really cool. So we have to get to 85 total papers. I mean, we want to get to 5 per year as quickly as possible. How does the scoring break down exactly? So, okay. If we want the full score, we got to get it done by 3669. No, sorry, 3659. I was reading that backwards. We have 8 years to figure this out. That might not be easy to do on this one. Happiness is still valuable. Okay, so prosperity and stuff does matter for that purpose. But 140 is not too bad. And we still want to get to 9 prosperous planets, but legendary planets count as 2. Also council tasks. Okay. I'm remembering, I think these 3 remain in play for all of the scenarios maybe, and it's just the bottom 2 that change. Slowly remembering. Well, so it says they affect planets near them, but it doesn't actually seem to be doing anything, but they do serve as a blocker. So it's easy enough to get robots out of here. Robots can produce food from there. If we wanted to make this an inhabitable planet, we still need to get water to it somehow. So let's maybe have a little bit more of a look around. Well, none of those are going to get us any water. Is this planet close enough? Yes, it is close enough to connect. Okay, I think that's a reasonable start. Just rig those 2 up. And then people makes robots. This should be pretty straightforward. Increasing the total production of minerals by 5 units is going to be like 2 planets producing minerals and one of them gets to successful, or 3 planets producing minerals versus getting a single forge world to successful, which is going to require chips unless it is a world that produces chips, in which case it's going to require 2 mineral income. I think this is probably going to work out to be easier, even though we don't currently have a source of minerals in our plan. you know, we'll just hope. We'll just do a little bit of hope here. So this happens, then this happens, then that happens. Does this work? Yes, it does. Okay, it just brushes past. So we could do a scrapping operation here into minerals for goods here to get this world running, and then obviously we're working on our goals a little bit. I think that's a reasonable move. So minerals to goods. Okay. We should check, right? So it used to be a residential space station. Its life support system seemed curiously similar to what we would need to live there, so we could just sell it off, or we could create a habitat of our own, which is a structure that lets you produce workers from food. And provides happiness bonuses when upgraded to successful or higher. I think they have upgraded the habitat from what it used to be before, which makes sense. Those are both compelling, but raw dollar income. Well, on this difficulty, raw dollar income may be a thing we have to worry about quite a bit. So we'll have this option unlocked quite soon. The habitat is like way off in the distance. I'm not going to scavenge it for $12 unless we get into some really dire state here. So, one thing that I'm seeing immediately is that this could be a Gaia world. And then we could water lab over here, right? Let's have a little bit more of a look around. Can I get... no, I cannot get all 4 of those. Okay, interesting. Does this does connect, but there won't be enough population here to actually feed the lab a worker. So we'll also need a source of workers nearby. Okay. Oh, also we could do a mineral lab over here. Do we get to see what the math is on these? No, it doesn't actually tell us. It just says collects an amount of papers based on the science. If I just drag one out onto the map here. Okay, it seems like it's, yeah, we're not going to find out the rate. It might be that it's like very direct, just like one paper, one science is one paper. Which means that in order to get to 5 science from the lab, we would need to have an outpost with 1 unit of resource plus 1 worker makes 1. And then we'd need 2 extra units of whatever the research thing is to get it up to 5. So like if these are both water producing worlds, we could do a 5 science lab here. But then we still need to connect a source of workers to the Rift Station to man it. Yeah. We badly need a habitable world over here, which is to say, maybe the free build of habitat is the thing. Rather than a habitable world, we just build a habitable structure. Then again, we do also have the slip relays, so we could potentially run population from somewhere else too, without it being too much of a big deal. Let's maybe look around for that. The rifts do not function, or do not inhibit the function of the probes, which is nice. Okay. Kind of a lot of primordial worlds out here. I need to see what's beyond all of this. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and commit on this one. So I think we're extremely likely to do that. Okay, that's a world that could potentially send people out to these. It would need to get food from somewhere. Obviously, it's very easy for it to get minerals already. But yeah, that's a possibility. Because, like, I kind of want to use the population from here to build the lab, right? Although you can't... Can you run a... Yeah, you can run a slipway across this. Okay. So... what I'm talking about here in theory is putting down a rift outpost. Let's do this again because I didn't notice. Okay, it does have an upkeep cost. So we build a rift outpost down there, but we don't want to do that until it's actually time to do it. Then we lab, feed the outpost from there, bounce a person via Slipgate down to here to run it, and then connect the 5 science lab to it, and that maybe will give us what we're looking for. I think this is like okay. This is an okay plan. If that was producing water, okay. I think I'm going to make this... We have to be a little bit careful about just like setting up too many worlds that we're not actually getting trade out of, because we do have to pay upkeep costs, right? There are upkeep costs per world in addition to the growth problem. So we don't have to have this ready for a couple more years, though. I think I'm going to do this because we need to see what is beyond this world. We need to start looking for the place where the food's going to come from. That's pretty awkward. Again, we can perform some shenanigans potentially with a gate, or maybe a couple of them. But we know this is going to happen, so let's just go ahead and run that, because that's trade. And then... So if we do this, we can get $12. Obviously, I'd prefer to wait on that until... Because we're going to be in a situation where we're going to get the full payout for it. But I definitely want to have this link set up before we end the year. I think we just do this. Break this for 12, and then spend the rest of the year sending out probes and getting more information. Okay, that's interesting. We're learning. We're learning stuff that may be valuable. So let me do this. Send this point of population here. We would need a second point of population. I'm trying to be careful with the water because it's going to be very easy for us to overcommit the water. If we get food to this world, it will generate the 1 extra point of population that is necessary to run Ugh, we need so many more bodies. What is the operating cost of a mine? 2 per year? All right, I'm going to do this to get that task done. And then we should probably ship a water somewhere. I'm going to make it here to finish this other task so that we can start getting more tasks. This looks very doable. And then I kind of want to do this because we want to get the habitat option here open. So that's like if we send these robots somewhere and then we deliver water to this world. This is a problem though. We're having some difficulties. So do these free slip relays, do they have an upkeep cost on them? They do. They're not like free. Because we can get food from over here. Like if we run a relay like that, people here make this a Gaia world, send the biomass from the Gaia world to Surth 2. But then I think bouncing the food back is gonna... Oh no, we can do it in 1. I don't know that we're going to be able to get the food going any other way. Blow this up now. So food like that. Then make this a Gaia world. Set this thing up here. And I've run out of dollars. Dollars. They're a problem. That's the realest shit I've ever said. I mean, this is like that's a pretty cheap connection. Okay. We have some income now. We have a couple of good connections running. Time's running pretty short though. It's probably about time we actually set this up. So, this could be a problem. It's going to be a smallish problem. That said, getting a functional laboratory up is like, it has a lot of value for a lot of reasons, right? It's not just about this one thing. So we do that and this and this and this. And then that is, we're out of money for the year, but now we're pulling in science that we can use to get some techs to help us with all the money problems we're having. And do we might have to... This might be a situation where we have to pass the turn at some point here. We can blow up an asteroid for small value and then like do a little bit of probe running. We have 5 months left in the year and we could potentially use up to 4 of them to send probes, which might be productive. You know, like finding another Earth-like world out here that we could turn into a colony. Yeah, these are just far enough apart that I can't hit them all. Finding another world out here that we could turn into a colony with just the leftover point of food would actually be really high value. Video game, you're breaking my heart. Wow, yeah, not a habitable... Only one of the worlds we revealed was habitable, and it's not habitable on just food. Although, it is worth noting that if we sent the population point from this world to McCaffrey 6, we would get the other point of biomass that we need immediately. So, that's something. We could make a connection here that would totally work. We'd have to spend our other slip relay to get the food from Cirth to McCaffrey or to Dormond, but that's probably worth it. That is probably worth it. Gosh. We are having some problems. I don't know how I'm going to get enough population over here. Well, no, I do. Habitats. Okay, well, we do have... I'm going to go ahead and burn this. And do I want to tap end turn or... No, I want to send out one more probe. Okay, so we learned very little there. I mean, we learned that there wasn't anything over there to be thinking about. So brain-machine interface would be a cool one. The ability to increase trade income on a planet by 30%. Like, some of our planets have pretty good trade income. Definitely worth the... What is it? It only costs 10 space bucks to get that established. I think xenotourism is very bad for us in our current situation because the problem we're having mostly is that we don't have enough population to get things done. The ability to send... We don't have any ice ball planets visible, right? We have a couple of Arctics. But yeah, right now we don't have a lot of dead, useless worlds. And in fact, like I think all of the desert planets we've revealed have been mineable even. Yeah, so we don't have any dead worlds right now. So I think we are probably saving up for brain machine. For the brain machine, you know. That mineral perk has been really good. So, what do we want to do with our $42 here towards setting up our goals? I need another point of population over here. There's no way, even with a slip relay, to get goods from Peril 5 all the way over to Kiefer 8. Yeah, that's very impossible. But we're going to need one extra point of population here, and we're probably not going to be able to get the habitat in place to make it happen. I think we got a little bit... We got a little bit screwed here by the very low number of overall people producing worlds that are available. Okay, we have until the end of 3659 to figure out this habitat situation then. Part of the reason that I revealed this is I was like, you know, if that's a mineral world and there's a robot world over here, maybe we can make something happen. And that is what happened. So we could make this a producer of 2 robots right now. And then we could scout up here and see if there's a way that we can make this a people world. It's hard to imagine what we would use all these robots for over here, but I guess the answer could be Robot Lab with another Rift station. Yeah. Pushing real close to the next Empire size. That makes me very uncomfortable. As soon as this emits its other point of minerals, it will become successful. And part of the problem here is that I'm not doing a good job of making sure my worlds are getting successful. Hold on. Am I right that there's no way to connect these things? Yeah, our ability to connect the goods world to the relay ends like over here. In theory, there's a spot like around here where with slipways of infinite distance, we could probably make that work. But that's not the situation we live in. All right, let's make robots. Look at all those robots. Whew, boy. Okay, so the clustering is really hostile here, right? Like there is no way to generate food for this world. We can generate everything else the universe could possibly ask of us, but there is no way to generate food. Nor can we generate the water that we would need to settle people down here. If we... Okay, there's a narrow spot here where we could run a point of food from this world to there. It is too far away from here to get water. But like making this world successful would be pretty cool. It would help a lot, actually. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. Okay, so continuing to scramble then. If we intend to inhabit this world eventually, that feels... I was gonna say, you know, we could start like making robots. We could like make robots at this remnant world in the hopes that they'll be able to help secure food out here somewhere and send it back. And also then this can be a robots to goods world eventually to feed this. And that at least gets the mission done so that we can get the habitat so that we can try to make this whole thing happen using the other point of food from this world, I guess. Where am I going to put this rift outpost? Hold on a second. I'm trying to... Are we going to have to use the other slip relay just to get population from the habitat to here? I think the answer might actually be yes. So I'm going to do this because I think we need that mission finished so that we can do this, which unfortunately does cost us a little bit of money. We're a little short on cash. We're a little too short on cash, aren't we? Uh-oh. Because what we have to do is we have to build the rift outpost in a position where the slip relay can pass food from the food world to the habitat, and then we can get the point of population into this thing. Does it work? Is it just straight up like... Okay, we don't get to know anything until it's fully connected, which really sucks. And we don't have enough money to make this happen, I think. Right, because we still have to build the slipways. The wheelays, you know. You know, those wheelays. So yeah, we do that, and then that. And then that, we need $3. And is there a single asteroid anywhere that we could destroy that's connected to anything? Am I really $1 short of this point? My heart. Oh no. So I am looking at this and thinking it only costs us $5 to do the build, but then we get $6 from the asteroid, right? I think the timing doesn't work out anyway. Yeah, this establishing industry on another planet would push us through 3659 anyway. So yeah, almost. We almost did it. It was nearly good. I think we have no choice here but to hit and turn. And then we'll connect this and... Okay, that's really interesting. So it's stepped much harsher than that. This is all good information. So we're calling this resource data. Okay. This is not the first time the rifts have appeared in this sector. Careful observation reveals traces of older spacetime anomalies from eons ago. Cool, good information. So... I'm assuming one data is at like a very low number. 2 data was probably like 3 or 4, and then 3 data is 7. So in order to get to 5 data output, you're going to need 2 of these things realistically, and they're going to have to be 2 or 3, and they're going to have to be really pretty good. That's interesting. I am thinking that what we're going to do here is maybe just scoop on this. Now that we understand the rules a little bit better, just try again from the beginning, because in order to get this information, I built us into kind of a wacky situation here that I don't think is actually playable. Like, our income is so low that we're going to be desperately struggling. But now we know how this works, and we can use that to build a little bit better. A thing that I actually am curious about that we should try to make happen here. I'm trying to figure out how I would do it. I would really like to see if we're allowed to run multiple rift outposts off of the same research lab, because probably, like, we might be able to, right? The limiting thing, obviously, for these is supposed to be that each rift is only able to have one thing connected to it. But we could run another rift up here and still potentially... Oh no, we got a range break. I could have placed this more carefully so that we could have tested that. Okay, that's interesting. I think we are going to tap out here. Let me... I'm debating whether I want to put another attempt into this video, because it's going to get pretty long. Let's do it. Let's just go back to we're gonna abandon this run. I believe you're given a different universe seed every time you try a mission. It regenerates the planets in a new way. Let's hope. So are these different? Yes, these are different because we didn't have quantum computing available before. I know that. Okay, yeah. So I'm sure we're getting a new seed here then. Quantum computing does seem like it's even better here than it usually is, and it is usually pretty overpowered in my opinion. So this seems like a good pull. Do we have to connect a Rift Lab to a single source of bulbs, or can we... I think the Vittori are on the council, for sure. That seems very useful. This is the trade hub. Accepts 1 unit of each resource. Okay, that's not super relevant. I mean, obviously happiness is still good, but... Ooh. Okay, the Dender have Genesis cells this time, which I do like quite a lot. Just get more blue stuff and green stuff, both of which are important science goods. Weather manipulation to turn desert, iceball, arid, Arctic, and swamp planets into something you can actually use. Food processors, which would have solved some problems we had last time. Yeah, okay. I kind of like that. And then, like, who's going to complete our triumvirate here? If we take them, we can still do mineral seeding, which I do like. I will say that I find the Silphid a little bit difficult sometimes in terms of just like the missions they give you, because the Silphid and the Aphorians will both just be like, hey, increase the amount of goods you're producing by 8 units or whatever, and that's rarely a thing that's trivial to do. So, like, this council, I think the missions that we're going to get are pretty doable, and also, yeah, I like a lot of what we got going on here. So, no empty signals, researchers. I kind of don't think either of these are awesome, so maybe we want to take perks from the others. If we take geology, the odds that we'll need mineral seeding are pretty low. This worked out pretty well for us last time, I think. Explorers also is valuable. You do run out of money. And I suppose it is worth noting that we do not have any money generation. I guess deep drilling kind of counts. And it's cheap enough that you might actually get it. But we don't have a lot of money generation in the early stuff here. So we might actually want to take explorers and just plan to get mineral seeding. And then... I mean, I hate to just always take prosperity, but like, it is incredibly good. It's like absurdly powerful. The difference between a successful world and a prosperous world is pretty significant. I think we're gonna do that. As much as I was like worried about the food situation last time, nutrition is just like, what if you got an extra way of generating food, but it was a huge pain in the ass to set up, and also it used the most valuable planet type? It's very hard to justify the loss of a Forge world when it is almost always the case that you're going to need more goods than you're going to have access to. Okay, yeah, and this is totally a different map. All right, let's just give it a whole extra try here. Now we have a little bit of a sense of what we actually asked for. That was a lot of money. Sorry, of what we are being asked for is what I meant there. We didn't ask for any of this. I don't have to make the reference to the memes. We all know, yeah. Okay, so let's try to set up a functional economy. We have a situation here where we have a forge world that could be used to produce food or robots. We can potentially generate our food. Like, I'm looking at Martin 6 as our colony planet, right? Here, let's explore 3 signals over here. Okay, interesting. This connection doesn't actually work though, right? Oh no, it totally does. Okay, so biomass to food on this side, allowing us to do goods this way. Like, this seems like a very good start to me. Invent a technology, I would love to. Get a people-producing planet to successful. We already have a plan for doing so. Getting this world to successful could happen. We don't really know. Invent one technology, though. Like, I intend to build a 3 science tech. Right? Hold on a second. I think we actually do want deep drilling. It's just like, it's a small amount of science to push you down the tree faster, and it gives you extra money. And as long as you're using your minerals, which we can try very hard to do, I think I'm comfortable taking these tasks. So we get 3 science from connecting to what are these things on this difficulty. So we don't even necessarily have to build our own laboratory in order to make that work. Let's do this. Mission accomplished. Okay. Oh, this doesn't quite reach. Yeah, that's a shame. Getting a person onto this forebear ruin is maybe going to be a little bit of a pain. So if we use this as the people world, this would take robots and biomass. It's tough. Arctic worlds are tough. Because, like, this is a pretty high priority right now, I think. This could be a source of food. We don't have a general increase in the range of our slipways this time. Which is a shame, because being able to connect these 2 worlds would make our lives so much easier in the long run. Do we have... No, we don't have the ability to destroy worlds in our future either. Obviously, blowing up a whole planet, not like... I'm not going to try to convince you that it's not evil. It is evil. Objectively evil. But listen, are you trying to roleplay as a nebulous group of people whose only focus is the functioning of the economy or not? And we haven't seen another forebear ruin anywhere. So it really is like one of these 4 planets has to be made into a people world, and we gotta run this so that we can complete our goal and get a new one early while they're still easy to do. I don't love the idea of committing... Like, this could be made a Gaia world, so it could produce green or blue. If we made this the people world, Gaia world here, and then we just get food from somewhere, we have a good source of goods there. We can make this a chip world, run minerals and chips, and like we could have ourselves a happy little economic loop down here. Is there a way? Yeah, there's even a way to get water. Well, I want this world to be successful, but getting water to it seems like it might be a little bit of a challenge. God, and there's so much water around. It's just difficult to get it here. Water lab, though. Or even a green stuff lab would not be hard to put together either. Biomass lab. And we have a couple of rifts here. So there's options. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and commit. I'm guessing we can make it happen. We're going to start by doing that. Oh, right. No, sorry. On this difficulty, it's 2. It's only unreasonable that it's 3 science. Well, I'm going to take learn about the forebear culture as our option here, since we did complete our Dender mission. We're going to pick this up. We get a little bit of extra income right away because we already have a mine. And then, where's the designated area? I do want to make sure we have Bakar events or Bakar options opened up. Increase total production of science by 9 units is wild. That is a wild thing to ask for. 9 units. That's 3 new food planets that each get all the way to successful. This, on the other hand, it's going to be slow going, but it's doable. So do we want Xeno studies? Hydroponic farms might actually be really good. One planet type that's not useful and one planet type that's dubiously useful become actually become producers of the thing we need most. Like, I think I'm going to go ahead and do the Gaia World thing because we can set up a two-way trade immediately. Like, that's good income. And then the next world we colonize pushes us up a category, which is very scary. So from here, does this connection work? It does. Okay. So this could be the source of our food. But we can't produce... Gosh. Out of range. That's a real shame. Now, we do have some arid and desert worlds, but they're all in kind of awkward places. Because we need to get a lab up relatively soon, right? If we're going to accomplish this, this is going to take a lab. And also, we need to start gathering data. My guess is we're not going to be able to 5-star the data thing, and I'm not going to stress too much about it. Now that we know how it works, it seems much more difficult to pull that off. So getting food to this world feels like much more of a priority right now because we can set up a network here. This world is already at 4 imports and exports, so like, we're not that far off of prosperous if we can just start flipping the stuff around it. And we totally can, in theory. I'm just trying to figure out what on earth the way forward is. Right, I think I'm just going to commit this. We're going to do that. And then this. And then we need one more point of population going out here in order for this world to get happy. That'll give me the money necessary to actually run the trade route. Okay, success. And then we can do, this and that. And now this world also is at 4 goods moving, and it's already connected to 2 successfuls, so we have some functional economy stuff going on. And with our perks, sometimes probes will pay themselves back. Sometimes they'll do even better than that. Does this world connect to that? It does reach that ocean world to the south. Okay, that's interesting. And we have to expand this way eventually. So this world could become a food world. We could do people here to robots there. If I do that, it needs water, which is like kind of awkward. But if we make the circle here for food, then we could send another point of food to Martin 6, which gets it to enough exports and imports at least. I mean, this is not going to be a problem. We'll send people out of here or something. Like, we don't actually have to worry about that. So if we're trying to creep this way, though, like, I kind of want to pick up one of these planets. Because I don't want to send out this probe. I want to send out a probe that gets... Right? So I think I'm going to... oh, we're out of money. Oh, we're out of money is the thing. We have $5. And I want to try to... Yeah, I want to try to make sure we're getting value on these asteroids. All right, I am going to commit to this. Oh, wow. Okay, there are no signals over here. That sucks a lot, actually. Show me this. Okay, 10,000 options. There's a lot of money available in this repair depot. Not much research value, but with some effort we could repair them and sell them off. Alternatively, we could just scrap it for some science. Actually, we probably have to do this one because otherwise we're going to have a really hard time getting minerals to this world, I think. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, and that's not so bad. That's not a big problem. So I think I am going to go ahead and set up this at least. I think this is right. Because, well, hold on. If I don't do that, we could run down here for food instead. I'm just thinking, like, it would be nice to have the food world be in a place where it's going to be able to service stuff a little bit more effectively. This one, what does it need? It needs chips. That is actually interesting. And we could run 2 points of food off of it. You know what? This is fine, actually. I'm trying to make sure that we're going to be able to actually get these worlds to successful, at least. So let's do that, because that's worth a lot of money. We'll do this. Okay, so now this world's at 5 with 2 successful neighbors. So we need to get over here so that we can finish that mission and get access to that option from the 4-bit ruin. We haven't grabbed hydroponics yet because it looks like it may end up not actually being that relevant. An ice ball here that could potentially get mineral seeded or something. So I guess that could be how we resolve this, in which case maybe it's better to take one of the other options here. Costs 6 science, get $119. Isn't a big deal if we just get a functioning lab up. And I think what we have here are perhaps some of the tools necessary to do that. Okay, that's not out of range. Out of range is the priority message. If you do this and it shows obstructed, obstructed is the only problem you're going to have. So, this could become a robots to goods world. We could run robots and chips to it from there. And then... yeah, that's interesting. So this world could become... this world could end up with a lot of population, which means that it could actually... we could set up, like, water lab down here. Not, like, the best water lab in the universe, but a functional water lab. And then feed one of these rifts with it. Are we ever going to be able to get people to this world? It's not easy, for sure. I'm trying to figure out where would this... okay, there's no version of this where it can access this world as well. Yeah, things are just not... things are not positioned for that. So we would have at most 2 sources of water, one of which we can't actually get any population to. But we're already incentivized to make this a water world anyway, because we need water to feed Vance 2. So let's go ahead and do this. Yeah. That gives us vision that's a little bit better. So food from here, water to there. Like food from here to there, water from here to there is pretty good. And then it could be like robots from here get the food, but we have to figure out a way to get population to here. But I think making this a robot world will give us enough vision that it might trigger that. Oh, that works. Yes, cool. Cool and great and excellent. It's all of these things. I'm just going to go ahead and... Are we better off taking the money? Because we'll get the ability to mineralize this ice ball world eventually. And maybe we just wait. And if we're going to be setting up this lab, the loss of science is not so devastating, actually. It is a huge amount of money to work with. All right, I'm going to... But if we make it a chip world, or if we make it produce chips, then we could potentially chip lab off of it, except we intend to do Slipways over here, so this chip world would be blocked from the lab anyway. Yeah. I'm going to do it. I'm going to commit to the big money thing. It's going to solve all of our money problems for a little while here. So the thing is, this is going to be a food world. Hold on, let me focus up here. So we can make this happen. So that's all income and commerce and whatnot. The thing I sort of realized there was, unfortunately, the way things look right now, I actually do need to get minerals to this world before we can get the lab up, because otherwise we have no way of getting human bodies to the lab, because a lot of things did not work out very well. So I can't build a lab close enough to this slipway, to like in a position where this world can feed it, because this slipway is in the way. Same deal over here. The rifts are very, very close to the slipways, and there was no way to make that not the case. So while this planet will produce enough people to feed both the lab and the rift station, it can't do so right now, which is actually a problem. It's kind of a big problem. Okay. This is good news. We're going to do some work over here for a second. There we are. Because what I need to do now is get a functioning lab going somewhere else to provide us the technology that we need to repair this situation. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. So, what could we lab over here? You know what? Hold on a second. Let me not make that connection just yet. Okay. That's a little awkward. The situation we have here is that it would be really easy to make a water lab on this side. I mean, we don't have to water lab over here. It's fine not to. We don't have a great lab. I guess we could do like a potentially a biomass lab up here or something. Because like we do have two sources of water that are probably both doable. What I was thinking is there's no sense in sending both the biomass and the water to this planet. And I think that ends up holding. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to commit to something here. We're going to hope. water and also water. Then the biomass gets sent here. There's no way for us to make this connection without it automatically sending the water, except for the water to already be in use. And then I am going to go ahead and set up... Well, hold on a second. Let's send another probe down here. None of these worlds are going to be people worlds. So it does not really matter where this rift station goes then. Okay, so we've got that going. Interesting. And it's already at 2 data. So we are going to get an additional 3 science out of this lab over the course of the game, naturally, just by producing, by getting our 2 quantum computing techs. So that will get up to 3 eventually. But now we have a little bit of proper science income so we can get to mineral seeding. It's going to take a while at this rate, but we can obviously hurry it along somewhat by figuring out the next lab. Oh, actually, here we have an opportunity. Am I allowed to... Will it indicate whether this is functional or not? No, I would have to make it completely work before it will tell me that. Okay, that's not a world that can host people anyway, so we probably won't be able to set up a situation where we can run this lab plus population to this rift. Probably. Huh. Okay, that's interesting. So we need a situation where we can set up a second lab. Out of curiosity, is it possible? It is possible for us to set up a lab that sees this world and both of those sources of biomass. That's really interesting. We would need people to be able to get here, though. Okay, you know what? I'm going to commit to this being a biomass world. I think we can absolutely make this happen. Let's lab. And then... Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, I probably have to do this slightly differently. Because we have to be able to put down the rift outpost in a position where it can get fed by this world. So... Okay, there is still a spot that works. Okay. With the right shielding, it seems possible to survive inside a rift for a short period of time. Anything longer than a few months causes irreversible damage to living tissue. Well, that is a shame. So, where are we at on this? This. 3661. So if we can get one more lab running somewhere. Actually, here we have a situation here where we can test that thing. Because this, like, we're going to do this, right? So now, we see, if I run this rift outpost here, and I do that and that, yes, one laboratory can feed multiple rift outposts. They just have to each have their own rift. Okay, that's really great news, actually. So we've locked that in at 3, and we were close to being able to do it at 4. It would not have been very difficult for us to do it at 4. So all of this is good information for when we come back on top sometime later. With some care and a great expenditure of energy, we think the rifts can be crossed. If we need it in the future, an experimental design for a rift bridge is available. Wow, y'all work fast. Okay, and we are now getting real close to mineral seeding, and like with 6 science income, this is not in the distant future. Okay, we do need to figure out a way to make food. Okay, there's a lot of A lot of false results there. We're close, we're close, we're close. Does this really not work? Oh, no, it works fine. Why is that not showing? Huh. Okay, well, the deal is this becomes... Because we could have this be a mechanized harvest world. So, right, it's like people make minerals to robots to something on this world. And it can be mechanized harvest running biomass to this world to make food. But we also could just do food here. Probably makes sense to just do food here. We would never be able to run the food from this world to anywhere else, so this world will never get successful. I think it does make more sense just to go straight to food here. Okay. And now that we have a point of population, we can do this. Okay. There we go. Mineral seeding, terribly important. And the next tech, I guess, can just be quantum computing. So now we do this. Mineralize. Set that up, which is great news. Set this up. The plan was to do robots, but actually, maybe it's better for it to be minerals. Because we're never going to be able to upgrade this robot world anyway. If I do minerals to goods here, yeah, we can run an extra point off this. That seems pretty good. Destroy that so that we can send these here. Chips in. And then... yeah, it's unfortunate. A lot of these worlds don't upgrade particularly well. This still isn't enough population to solve the problem over here because we need 2 points of population to feed the... Rift Station... Can we... The question I have is whether it's possible, if we put the Rift Station right here, can I feed... I hate that it's not showing me whether that lab will connect or not. Yeah, it never shows you. Because, like, I want to do it like this, right? And we go like that. I'm like, okay, no, that is obstructed. But to be clear, it wouldn't show me whether the lab would connect no matter where it was, right? Oh, no, okay, it does show you when you find a position where it actually does work. Okay, so... all right. Because we need this world to provide the people for that. Which is it's a little messy. This situation's a little messy. Oh, right. Actually, sorry. We have a water lab already. That's right. I decided not to do this because we built a water lab. And now that we've used the green stuff lab already, this world just doesn't get a research station, I think, is the deal. But we've made this world functional. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so next tech is at quantum computing, and I think we may just be waiting. We may not be building another... like, it would be good to build another lab, though, because we are absolutely going to need... yeah, our data collection is not quite fast enough, right? Although I guess the data collection is not the problem, because the 2 labs we have are going to get upgraded. So... that world could get mineralized, but we can't get food over to here. Yeah, so we do want another lab. Right, this also is doable. Well, robots, minerals, and chips are the other researchables. We definitely have some spare robots around. We have some minerals too. A mineral lab over here is like potentially doable. Oh, right, I have to like get population for this. Wow, none of these worlds over here are capable of producing population. We made some gambles that I am apparently not prepared to actually pay off. These weak signals are unlikely to be planets, but it's not impossible. Okay, if one of them had turned out to be a planet that could hold population, it would actually have been very good. All right, so we got some awkward situations. We got some troublesome stuff going on here. And we could set up another rift station over on this rift if off of this thing and have it be really good if we could just get a damn habitable planet. Do we have better terraforming coming up? We do. We have weather control. We should not get that first. We should get quantum computing first. But weather control may help us solve this problem. Because, like, this could be habitable. But actually, this is the only world over here that it's on the wrong side of the rift. This could become habitable. Yeah, it's not so bad. All right. So, looking for other places that we could build labs. We don't currently have a way to get food out of this world. I think the robots are real far away. But, like, this could be settleable. Like, obviously, I'd like at least 2 points at that. I was trying to, like, figure out a way to use this world to do a mineral lab that we could feed this rift from. We could get a couple sources of minerals going over here, but that's reliant on, like, striking way out into the darkness. Which is a little... I mean, a lot of this is speculative. We need to see more habitable worlds. Ugh, okay, so this is a habitable planet. Could work. But we need a source of food. If I send another point of population down here, then this... and I get rid of the biomass here, this world will upgrade and produce a second point of water, which obviously is very valuable. And we could get rid of the biomass, and we could even get rid of the biomass toward the production of food, except that I don't think we can get robots. Yeah, these two worlds are too far apart. This world is like way too far away to feed you. It's not impossible that something could happen up here. We can see enough worlds to at least start looking. Okay. So yeah, these are both going to be obscured. We don't have a way to burn this biomass effectively. It's still the case that Climate 3 cannot be turned into a population center, which is kind of a shame because it would function well enough as one. God, if this connection wasn't out of range, it would, and it's such a small amount too. If that connection wasn't out of range, we'd be in much, much better shape. Okay, well. It's been super hard for us to get a prosperous going too, because like just nothing connects, nothing can have enough connections. Even with our relative ease of prosperity, nothing can develop enough connections. All right, we gotta wait one more year plus one connection to a forebear ruin is probably the right way to do that, rather than waiting 2 more years. So if I wanted to do that, if I wanted to connect to a forebear ruin, we could do biomass. That connection doesn't work. So we have a world here we can get biomass out of. It's just a matter of getting food for that world. And this world could connect quite easily to here. And there's a lot going on around it. It's possible that we can make the food work. Another thing that we can do is just wait until we have slipstream relays, but like, there's not that much time left in the scenario. Our science income's gonna get really good really fast. So I guess I'm just going to do this because we need it to happen. Gain +science on all planets that make population. That's fascinating, actually. If there's another... The problem is we probably have to use this to make food. Ugh, I hate that. I hate that, but it's probably true. I guess this could be the biomass world and this could be the food world. That works out a little bit better. So that means that this thing is only going to be able to produce science on one world, but it still is producing science on a world, which is going to make it very easy to set up a couple more rift stations. I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's good. Let's just go ahead and make this all work. So this becomes this thing. Sorry, I gotta destroy you. Make that happen. We go quantum computing. Finishes our thing. My guess is, yeah, our next Vittori thing is going to be really, really easy to do. Increase the total number of prosperous planets by 1 is also really not that hard. How many tasks do we need to finish? Oh, we just have to finish these 2. That's fine. Prosperous worlds this is going to be an issue, but we're working on it. So, buy upgrades to this lab and this lab, and then we have to get one more lab established somewhere. It's a shame the timing on that wasn't a little bit different so that this world couldn't just provide all of the extra output. When we research... Okay, so self-hosting AI is in the next tier, so we'll probably want to grab weather control next. But when we pick this up, it will push us up to science by itself. So that's something. It's not the right way to do this. Can this be reached from here? Oh, see, that's very interesting. We could just do this. It finishes the thing. Now, Vittori technologies are cheaper, so that's going to be easier to do. And then there's a couple of different places that this connects to, and we can just use a slip relay to solve this problem, which is fine. Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. So it'd be a good idea to actually get a planet to prosperous. That would be fun. Just a cool change of pace, you know? So this planet could be flipped to successful by just getting the water out of it. And we could do that by setting up a water lab, to be clear. The water lab itself wouldn't be valuable. This planet's at 2 already. All it would need is for this to flip by getting fed up people, but that we can't actually do that. When we get weather control, maybe. Because this will turn into an arid world, right? And then we can feed it food and water. And actually, that's awesome. That's going to be really, really good. So yeah, the prosperous world thing is... We have one coming. It's going to work. So that's great. That's great news. So what's the next thing to focus on? Just making worlds functional? We kind of just need like this to take over? Yeah, okay. Well, I see no reason not to do this. And then slip relays is how we're going to solve that problem, I guess. These two worlds don't... Ah, man, that's frustrating. I mean, of course they don't, because this world and this world are about the same distance from it. If this thing could just, like, slide over slightly, it would make my life so much easier. You know what? Hold on. Before doing this, Turns into plus science. Sorry, leave it for now. Plus science 10 times. I think I would rather just take the 8 right now, because we can use the 8 right now. Right? That gets me weather control, which lets me turn this into an arid world, which I ran out of dollars. Okay. Hold on just a moment here. Let's try to blow up an asteroid that we're already at capacity on. I guess we actually don't have that many good asteroids. Yeah, okay, I'll do this. People, water. Point to people goes in here, flips that. Okay. So this should be very doable. And increased population by 10 is a harsh ask for sure. But so is increased minerals by 8. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot either way. Yeah, these missions are a bummer. Well, population by 10 is not all that many successful people worlds. Okay, so we go ahead and take that. Then we take self-hosting AI. Gives us a couple of those points right away. And one more good lab gets us completion on this. And by good, I just mean all it has to do is that, right? 1 worker, 2 resources. So now that we've done this, because you can only use a 4-bear ruin from a people world that has people currently unassigned on it. We've done that. It would be really useful to make this a chip world. Do these not connect? They just barely don't. And if we made this a chip world, then we could potentially do chip research. Oh, this rift is already spoken for, though. This could be a chip world. Feeds that. And we can do chip research over here. I need to see more... making this a mineral world and then doing mineral research up here on this rift is interesting, but we don't know for sure that there are habitable planets anywhere around. Is that out of range? That is out of range. Give me some more information over here. Okay. There's a lot of places where we could potentially do mineral research because it's really, really easy to make mineral planets. So we can make this an Earth-like with terraforming, which is like quite powerful. And then between this world and this world, we can definitely generate mineral planets, hook them up to a mineral lab, and then rift station one of these 2 rifts. Or both of them, actually. Yeah. I think I'm going to commit to that idea. And it's like, how are we going to get food over here? I don't know, man. We'll figure it out. So this becomes mineral world. This becomes mineral world. Sorry, I do have to do this thing. We go like that and like that. Cannot afford. Oh yeah, my income's actually pretty bad. That is a legitimate problem. Yeah, we do like this and this. And that. Money, 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 money. Always the money. And like the reason the money's a problem in the way that it is here has a lot to do with the fact that we don't have prosperous worlds. That I've been very focused on one particular thing. But like, here's a little bit of extra money. Here's a little bit of extra money. Outputs, you know, they're valuable. We can also, sorry, I need to destroy an asteroid to send out probes, which can produce money on their own now. There you go. That one was pretty good. Is that enough to cover this? Nope. That's fine. We got the lab up. That's the most important part of it. I do need a tiny bit more cash, actually. Because this gets us task completion, which is valuable. We probably want Genesis cells, right? Is Genesis cells immediately going to affect anything? Not really, actually. And it potentially might not do anything at all ever. Yeah. So maybe Genesis cells is not the next technology. Maybe the next technology is like plasma containment, which lets us produce power from water. Because we do have an area of the galaxy where, like, we have some spare water, but we also have some problems. It's interesting. Plasma containment might let us do some stuff. Transpose is also potentially interesting. Our score's not going to be great here. I'm looking at this and realizing, like, with us being as desperately out of money as we are, we're going to have a hard time making the kinds of advancements that we need to make. But also, at this rate of data collection, we do win. It's just a matter of, you know, the score being, you know, whatever. So I think these are both potentially interesting. We do have... Once we have plasma containment, it becomes way more sensible to do Genesis cells, because we have a lot of planets producing biomass, and they could be powering plasma stuff instead. Yeah, so that's potentially compelling. Once we have food for this world, then... This is really awkward. I'm trying to figure out, like, how we get prosperous planets too, on top of everything else. And the answer is, it's tough. It ain't easy. I need to find more places that I can generate goods, is a significant part of it. So we could do... Alright, I am going to take plasma containment, because we have bonus water over here. And we can have even more bonus water. And that can help with some of this stuff. We can generate... Yeah, we can generate some stuff. Some things. Plasma containment here. Although I guess Genesis cells also solves Journey 2's problem. But, like, plasma containment here feeds goods to... Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Everybody stop panicking. So, unfortunately, a fusion plant is, like, actually very expensive to build. So... we are going to send out another probe or two. I'm trying to, like, send out probes that will pay for themselves while also potentially generating useful asteroids. Oh, that's cool. So we can connect to that once we do the goods thing here. But it looks like we are... Okay, here's a... I have $2. Do we have a single... asteroid that will actually pay out? I don't think so. I think we have to just tap end turn here. Yep. So yeah, that one was going to be value positive. Do we want energy driven industry? I mean, it's going to help us with our task for sure. Terraforming changes is probably not so good. I am going to take this, I think. We could wait until something else. But nothing else we get is going to be as immediately valuable. I guess Starbirth is pretty good. So, okay, connecting this here does push us up another score, another point threshold for this thing. How much science would you need to generate a fourth point? An additional 2? Oh, that's interesting. Also, obviously, there's Rift here is pretty good. Is going to be pretty good. We do need to still find food for this world. So we can make this Earth-like. We don't have easy robots. We have robots here, but we have no people. Yeah, it's out of range. So yeah, turning this into an Earth-like and then having it send food will give us the ability to make the other Rift Station at least. Our overall happiness level is going to be very bad no matter how we do this. The thing we need more than anything else right now, right at this moment, is just a bunch of money. Honestly, nothing matters more than a large amount of money so that we can build some plasma stations. Because the second we can do the plasma thing, we are rolling in it. Like we're gonna be doing very well, actually. So yeah, there's not really a way for us to generate a large amount of money, even in theory, unless this Forebear Ruin will let us do it. But in order to get that, we need this world to upgrade, which we are probably going to have to do via a plasma thing, right? Probably a fusion plant. Well, at the beginning of the next turn, at the beginning of the next year, we make 18 space dollars. How do we want to do things here? Can send out a probe. I was kind of hoping that it was going to be easier to generate food on this side. This planet can't even reach the world that we need the food on. This is tough. Like, we're so close to this being good in so many different places, too. That's the thing that's most frustrating. So the problem is, if I hit end turn right now, end year, we don't even get the money we need for a single plant. So I want to do some more trade establishing. We need to be putting some upward pressure on our number of prosperous worlds anyway, right? So I'm looking around trying to figure out, like, where could we make some moves, some deals that would actually result in the production of additional prosperity. And the answer is pretty grim. There's not a lot of spaces where we have good moves available. Yeah, we can't get people to there. So using this to generate water to feed that is out. If we could get 1 point of minerals out of here, then this planet would upgrade, which is something, but it's not gonna actually push additional prosperity. When this planet flips to successful off of the plasma thing, then this will flip to prosperous, which is cool. We can actually do the same thing on this side. This planet will, with 1 income, will actually flip to prosperous immediately. And it'll be the third world. Well, we can send water to here. Like, we can make this work. It can be good. It can be good. I just need a huge amount of seed money. And there's nowhere for us to get that. I need another station where we can trade science for hundreds of dollars. Hundreds of space dollars. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this because we're going to need... Yeah, we're going to need the additional points of resources for sure. And then do I hit this asteroid and then just hit end turn twice? It feels like that can't be right. We don't have the population necessary to generate anything here. Oof. Well, we found an asteroid at least. That's a bad pull, though. I was hoping for a world where we could generate goods or something. All right, let's do this and this. The thing is, right now we're going to go to 32. So we're going to have the resources to lay down the power plant, but we're not going to have the resources necessary to form the connections that it needs. So still pretty bad, actually. As things stand right now, we have to hit end year twice before we can actually make anything happen. And we can probably do better, is my thinking. So if I have to pay a bunch of money before I can make this a food world, right? Because I have to terraform it. Yeah, running full out of dollars is pretty harsh. It's a harsh world. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And then, like... Our score's not so bad, right? It's 12. It's not so bad. It's pretty bad. But a lot of our worlds are going to start getting pretty... The thing is, the income rises are largely based on us getting goods moving out of worlds, not goods moving into worlds. Flipping a world to prosperous does not naturally create more income. It's just score for us right now. We do need exports to make things better. So we're going to be able to flip stuff over, but we're not going to have any more income. I think, though, I am just going to kind of, like, I'm just going to do this thing. It's basically like tapping out. But I'm hopeful that we will generate some money off of this ruin, which will give us the ability to go further. Debating whether I think it's better to... Yeah, this is right. Let's do it this way. I actually am just going to hit this button. We're just going to move. Okay. So yes, cracks and fractures. Wonderful news. This goes here. Makes this world successful. Can't afford. I might just hit the button again. I might just more or less tap out. I do think we want Genesis cells. Is it better than Slipstream relays? No, probably not. In our situation. So that's going to be 13. We don't have asteroids. We don't have a situation to send out a probe that looks like it would actually be useful. Where it would return more money than we spent, I mean. So, well, could be. Got an asteroid. Got a valuable asteroid. $16. Oof. Well, it's something. Yeah, I don't think a matter replication facility makes any sense for us right now. All right, we can start generating some score here. So I think they need chips secondary. Interesting. I'm looking at this and thinking, like, we're going to need a unit of energy for this world and a unit of energy for this world. Getting this world turned on is, I think, very important. But I think the way we end up doing that actually is this. I think it needs that. So it is often the case that there's some high value tech that you can get that makes things good immediately. I don't think that's actually the case here. Well, hold on. You know what we can do? I don't have to do that. Because we could just do skill download. And produce the extra point of water we need here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to build the one fusion plant right here. I'm looking at this world and thinking that maybe... Well, no, it can't connect to a large enough number of successful planets. We're never going to be able to flip that one over. So we're going to do this. So that flips a couple of worlds right away. So we're still pushing our stars up. 15. Okay, we're going to get to 15. So we need to skill up and then build another plasma thing to get this world settled. This world, to get to prosperous, it needs to have something around it flip to successful. Something that's connected to. If we were producing a point of water, what are the happiness thresholds? Okay, right now we're at 0. So going down from 80, like if we just accept that we're not going to get where we're going on happiness, I could just make this a water world at very low cost to us. And, you know, can't afford. And this gives us some income even. I'm just going to hit the button. Right? Because that makes a prosperous world. And then... Yeah, we can get to 5 pretty easily. 1 more data per year. Is that really... I think that should be doable, right? Just trying to like scrounge every star we can get now. Oh, right, this thing. Yeah. We still have to feed this world. And again, our happiness dropping a huge amount doesn't actually matter. So this is 24. We can do this now, which will help a little bit. But yeah, we can get our science output, or we can get our data output up, which is worth another star. It's been a long episode. Give me a break. Okay. So that's another star. We're at 15 now. It's bad, but it's, you know, could be worse. And I think that we're just going to call it there. Our happiness is trending downward in a really ugly way that could lead to the end of the game, given enough time, but we will not give it enough time. There's only 8 months left. This one spiraled a little bit. Teleporters are too expensive to make use of. Yeah, there's not really anything else we can do. We're not going to be able to complete this task, but it's fine. We can build the Vittori thing somewhere. It's not going to give us enough happiness to get us a point, though. It doesn't seem like a good use of a month. Although also, you know, we're not doing anything else with our time anyway. So can we get 1 more world to prosperous? 1 world to prosperous is a point, right? Yeah. We can get 16 stars here. So making this world happen is trivial if we can wait 9 months, but we can't. We don't have the money to do the thing over here. I was really bummed out that this only gave us $16. Is there anywhere else that a prosperous world is like theoretically doable? We can't get a mineral in here, but this would flip, which would cause that to flip. We can't get water in here. This world's only connected to 1, and it can't... Yeah, that can't work. This world can't flip. I don't think we're going to be able to. Yeah, we need money. We just ran out of money. And there's a version of this thing where we have a healthy income going into the production of the gain of the plasma tech, where we get to easily flip 9 worlds. Because, like, with the ability to make more energy, we could do anything. But I think I'm just going to accept this kind of bad score. As we collect the last of the data, we are getting reports of new rifts opening up in many other sectors. The phenomenon seems to radiate out from Forebear space. There is no choice but to explore further. I really like these changes to the rule set, these new things to aim your understanding of the game at. I did not do a very good job here, and I apologize. Hopefully we'll do a little bit better on the next one. It's obvious to me that we slipped this way a little bit last time, too. So, you know, every once in a while, you get a mission where the score's just not so good. If I keep talking, at some point I'm going to stop feeling embarrassed, right? Right? That's how that works? So that's going to be the end of this for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time tomorrow, we're going to be trying A Bridge Too Far. So I guess we're going to actually construct that theoretical rift bridge design. Thank you all so much for... Where was I in the outro? Yeah, I'm all flustered now. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time for a bridge thing. We're going to build a bridge. I'm sure it's going to go splendidly based on this episode. And we'll see you then.